Time now for the sit down. As we celebrate Women's Day, we shine a spotlight on South African women in farming, and one of them is Zukiswa Kwili, a 45-year-old Eastern Cape vegetable and broiler chicken farmer. Starting out at the peak of COVID in 2020 without any formal training, Zukiswa credits her upbringing and her parents' influence on her small-scale farming, which she first saw as an economic opportunity but has now fallen in love with. And today she has a 50 by 50 home garden full of spinach, cabbages and potatoes. She sees her company, Kwili Enterprise, as a way to connect with nature, providing for others and generating an income as well. And she joins us now to tell us more about her journey. Good morning, Zukiswa. Welcome to Newzroom Afrika.
Good morning, Masichab, and thank you so much for having me.
So you began your journey quite recently. I mean, 2020 was 5 years ago. You were 40 years old when you started in farming. You say it's proof that it's never too late. What did you do before that, and how did you get into farming?
That is correct. Thank you so much. I was in Cape Town from 2024 up until 2019. I was worked for the city of Cape Town. I worked for Old Mutual. I worked for an airline in overseas as well, and I worked for Amazon. So I was just killing it in the working industry, but I was never content. I'm counting these companies because I kept on resigning. I was never fired because I was never content. But now that I started farming, I feel this is where I belong. This is where I want to be.
Now, you have no prior experience or any formal training or education in farming. Where did you even begin?
I think when I began, I bought broilers. I bought because I wanted to start full force. I had the monies that I saved up when I resigned and when we were laid off during COVID. So I bought 80 broilers, no experience. I didn't know how to raise them at all. So all of them died. That should have put me out. And I remember my company that laid us off because of COVID called us in 2020, December, so that we can come back. But I said no, because I wanted to try again and do it over. And the nice thing about farming, it has a lot of do-overs. If you do bad this season, there's always the next season for you to do over.
Oh,
so
wow.
I did over. I saw that, no, this is the way of life. This is how I should live my life. This is how I should influence others as well.
That's actually a beautiful life analogy. Now, I was going to say, if you could just tell us a little bit more about how you farm your broilers for those who are uninitiated. It is quite risky business. What does it entail? What are your processes?
Okay, the process is to first, if you know nothing about broilers, you've never been trained, but you want to start like myself, you need to read. Just start reading. You can start by raising 5 one-day-old broilers, or you can buy them at 5 weeks because I also sell them at 5 weeks. So I'll take an example. If you are raising a day-old broiler, the process is you need to prepare for them before they arrive. You can use a sawdust that you get from mostly the people who sell day-old broilers. They also have the sawdust that when they're cutting wood, there's that into lencane when they're cutting wood. So you put that as a bedding for your broilers. You make sure that they are warm. You also have a warming lamp. You also, the seller of the one-day broilers, they can provide you with that. When they arrive, you need to make sure that their space is warm. There's water with the vitamins that are meant for a day-old broilers. You must vaccinate them. There's a vaccination program that your day-old broiler seller should provide you with to make sure that they don't get affected by diseases. If you get that right, you can have 100%. I'm at that level right now where my level of mortality for my broilers is no more than 90, no less than, it's like 5%. The mortality rate, no more than that. So that's where I am right now.
You've basically gotten the hang of it. Now,
I've gotten the hang of it.
Good for you. How was it breaking into the market? Because this is one of the biggest challenges for people, but especially for women?
That is a challenge as well. But because I'm a very bubbly person and I talk and I walk around and I ask, I went to schools. I went to schools, told teachers that I have grown broilers for sale, and they told me how they want them, because it's different how my customers want broilers. For example, if you are in KZN, mostly, I know my colleagues that side, if you're in KZN and you are rearing broilers, you can sell them easily at 6 to 7 weeks without feeding them any maize or, let me say, grain. But my customers, they prefer them a bit ziqine, you know, not soft. So I need to, after 6 weeks, to introduce them to grain so that they can enjoy their meat. So they told me that. So the other thing is to listen to your customer needs if you want to retain them. And I used WhatsApp, social media to advertise my business. When I got to vegetables, I did that with my cabbage. So when my cabbage is ready, I don't get any problems. The vendors, they come with their vans. Those big trucks, they come and take everything that I have. And also Boxer supermarket around here in Mount Fletcher, where if I have my spinach and it's in good condition, because they've also told me what I need. Okay, the Department of Agriculture also trained us that before you plant, try to listen to what your customer need. Because if you plant or you raise your chickens and your customers don't like the quality of your produce, then you won't be able to retain any customers or get any for that matter.
I see. What would you cite as having been, or what are your greatest challenges as a farmer today, Zukiswa?
It's not having enough funds to boost yourself, especially if you're unemployed and you are also living from the same profits that you need to invest back into the business. And also the weather conditions, the climate. In my area, we have everything. We have snow, we have hailstorms, we have the heat. So as the farmer, you need to know where to place your produce. For example, this is the season to plant cabbage, but if you plant it in my area, you have a risk of not getting any rain from September up until November. The best time to plant cabbage would be, from my analysis, would be from February going forward. And also there's the challenge of not having enough labor, because people want to be paid. You can't get volunteers. So if you don't have funds to pay people, you need to band and work that food yourself. And that limits how much you produce, because you need to work based on the energy or the will that you have to continue. And the other problem is your inputs. They are very much expensive, whether it's for planting or it's for the feed for broilers. They are expensive. If we could maybe get, let's say, a discount for farmers that comply with the government regulations. And also that as well, the government regulations, before they can support us as small farmers. It can be a problem to us farmers, but if you are serious as a farmer in that regard, you need to make sure that you listen to what the government wants. For example, the tax compliance, recording every day, if there's transactions every day, who came to buy on credit and all that, that then does not become a challenge. And it puts you in a position right now, I can proudly say, even though that is a problem in some cases, the reason why I registered my company last year is because I wasn't aware of how much a problem it is for us not to be compliant, because it blocks us from getting funding. So I can proudly say right now, I complied with the government regulations, and SIFA funded me for fencing. I've got 1 hectare fence right now, and they've also provided me with a potato planter and also a potato ridger. So when I get other funds, they will take from where I am right now so that the company can grow and it can create more job opportunities.
Oh, that's fantastic. Before I let you go, very briefly, what advice do you have for people, well, women especially, who want to get into agriculture?
Start where you are. Use that ECTR. Get 5 heads of cabbages. Start small, because if you start big, you can be discouraged, because I know I have done that before. I planted 500 heads of cabbages, quickly counted my profit, the hailstorm came and hit me. Ask around from farmers that have done this before you in your area. They'll tell you about the challenges they've faced, so that you don't experience the same challenges that they have experienced.
Fantastic. Zukiswa, thank you so much for your time, and happy Women's Day.
Thank you so much, Masichaba. Same to you.
That was Zukiswa Kwili.